Today on my channel, I'll be sharing a recipe for this delicious beef and potato hot pot. I particularly love this dish because it's so comforting, it's delicious, and it's quick to make. Hi everyone, my name is Buki Akimade. I'm a food blogger and a digital creator here in Lagos, Nigeria. If you're new on my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell so you're notified every time I post new content on Sunday afternoons. For this recipe, we're going to need some potatoes, we're going to need some vegetables. I'm using bell peppers, so I have the red, the green, and the yellow, and I have some spring onions. I also have shredded beef. I'm going to use half of a medium onion, some habanero. I have some cloves of garlic, I'm using 2 of them. I'm also using some basil, onion powder, white pepper, chicken seasoning, and some paprika powder. I'll use some canola oil and some salt also. I'm going to start first by peeling the potatoes. Obviously, you want to peel your potatoes. I'm using this potato peeler that I got from IKEA. People have asked me over the years where I got this potato peeler from. I got it from IKEA. I've had it for about 2 years now and it's still really sharp. It's one of those cheap ones, but it works really well. I'm just going to peel out my potatoes now. I'm not going to bore you with that, so I'll just skip to when I finish. Once you're done peeling your potatoes, you want to cut them into small pieces. I'm cutting them into small pieces because they're going to cook quicker, and it just means that for every forkful or every spoonful of this dish that I take, I have just one good sized potatoes and hopefully some vegetables and some meat. So I'm just going to cut this up and then I'm going to rinse it and then leave it in the water until I'm ready to use it. Next, it's time to cook the beef. So in this pot, I'm going to add some oil. And when the oil is hot, I'm going to add in my shredded beef. I bought this beef already shredded at the shop, but if you want to buy your beef and then cut it into small pieces, you can totally do that. Chicken or turkey will also work for this recipe. You just need to shred it. I'm going to add a little bit more oil because my beef is sticking to the bottom of the pot. Anyway, what you want to do is cook your beef until it's no longer pink. Now I'm going to add in my garlic. I'm just mincing this garlic. This garlic press I also got from IKEA. I think IKEA has a lot of really good stuff. I got this one from IKEA also. I'm going to mince my garlic and then add in my chopped habaneros. Now this dish is really spicy, but that's my preference. You can skip the habanero or just use a very little amount, however much you can tolerate. Now I'm going to add in my seasoning. So I've added chicken seasoning, I've added the white pepper, I'm going to add in some onion powder. Oof, that's my favorite. I'm also going to add in some paprika powder. In hindsight, I think I used more paprika than I should have, so you may want to keep that to 1 teaspoon or half a teaspoon when you're making this recipe. I'm just going to cook all of this now with the beef until the beef is properly cooked, and then I'm going to scoop it out of the pot and put it in a bowl and just set it aside. So I'm going to add the potatoes in the same pot now with all of that seasoning in there. I'm going to add some water, and in this pot I'm going to cook my potatoes. So it already has some seasoning, but because I'm adding some water, I feel like I'm going to need to add a little bit more salt just to give it taste. If you want to skip it, you can totally do that. So now I'm going to cover the pot and let my potatoes cook until they're almost soft. Next, I'm going to chop my vegetables. So I'm going to chop my bell peppers into bite size. You can julienne them if you want, or slice them thinly if you want. This is just my preference, and you don't have to do exactly this. I find that depending on the recipe, I tend to cut my vegetables differently. It just depends on how I feel or what mood I'm in. So do you for this recipe. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, and trust me, you're still going to have the same delicious dish. So I'm cutting all of my bell peppers now. I'm going to set them aside. I'm not using the full bell pepper because they're quite big, and because I'm mixing 3 different colors, it means I have a lot of bell peppers. I'm also going to cut my onions and then separate them so that when it goes in the pot, I don't have to do too much stirring because the potatoes will already be soft. Next, I'm going to cut up my spring onions, and I'm also going to set this aside. So when I was listing the ingredients, I didn't mention corn flour, but I'll be using corn flour to sort of thicken the dish. You can totally skip it and just take out some water from yours. Now my potatoes have cooked, I'm going to add in my vegetables. I'm also going to add in the cooked beef because it's really soft now, and it doesn't need a lot more time to cook. So I'm going to add everything in and just stir it gently and allow the flavors to infuse. I'm going to taste this for seasoning and see if I need to add anything extra, although I really doubt it. I'm adding some more water because I want mine to be soupy. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I just really like a really soupy kind of dish, and so I'm adding a bit more water, but I'm going to add in the corn flour now to thicken it a little bit so it's not dripping all over the place when I'm eating. Like I said, you can skip the corn flour process and you can skip the water process entirely. I'm doing all of this on medium heat. I'm going to add in my spring onions now. Give it a stir, and then I'm going to add in my basil also. I'm adding these at the very end because they don't need a lot of time to cook and it's mostly just for flavor. So I've added in the basil now. I'll give it another stir and I'll let it cook for 1 more minute before I take it off the heat. And this, you guys, is how you make this delicious beef and potato hot pot that also happens to be a 1-pot dish. I like those kinds of dishes because it means I only get to wash 1 pot. I'm just going to serve it in this bowl now and show you what it looks like. It's such an exciting dish for me. I purposely made it soupy and spicy because I had a cold at the time that I was shooting this video and I just wanted something really comforting. I thought that you guys might also like this recipe, is why I'm sharing it with you. So if you've enjoyed watching this video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me your questions, your suggestions in the comment section and I'll get to it. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. I share meal inspirations and other recipes on there at the Kitchen Muse. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done that, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching and always being here. Take care. Bye bye.